What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Prophecy Podcast. I'm your host, Obese the Prophet, and tonight my usual co-host is on vacation, so he's not joining us tonight. But we will be joined in a little bit by Libsy as a fill-in co-host for tonight, and we're also joined tonight by Shameek the God, um, one of the best MCs to ever come out of the great state of Maine. And yeah, so we got a great show, and let's get into it. Usually, this is where I go over the um, sponsors, so that's what I'm going to do. The Prophecy Podcast is proudly sponsored by MPC Stuff. They have all the replacement and upgrade products that you need for any of your MPCs or other Akai machines. They got fast shipping and quality products. I stand behind them 100%. Also, this podcast is brought to you by I Regret Nothing Apparel. High quality materials, great social messages and designs. Proud to have them as a sponsor, and we stand behind them 100%. Absolutely love that they're a black owned Maine small business. It doesn't get any better than that. And our smoke break segment, as always, is brought to you by Fire on 4, which is located down at 367 4th Street in the heart of Portland, Maine's Old Port. Ultra fine cannabis products and a super friendly and knowledgeable staff provide you with all your medical cannabis needs. Be sure to check out Elevate Audio and Visual, music videos, music promo, social media promo, websites, graphic design, anything that you need pretty much. We can do it all. Check out elevateaudioandvisual.com for more information on that. And every episode is brought to you by What's Happening in Boston. They keep us up to date with all the events and stuff that's happening in Boston, so check them out. And last but not least, we're always brought to you by Bars Over Bars, continuing to build the brand and all that good shit. So Libsy's not here yet, so without any further waiting, we're going to bring in Shameek the God. What's up? How's it going? Pretty good.
Chilling. How you doing?
Good, man. Good. Yeah. So, normally when we first start off the podcast, we go over just like a basic, kind of little biography of who you are, and you know. So why don't you let everybody know? In the meantime, I'm going to bring Libsy on. What up, Libs?
What up, dude?
What's
Just getting
happening?
started with the Prophecy Podcast. Libsy, this is Shameek, Libsy.
Nice to
What's
meet you,
happening?
homie.
Nice to meet you, Livesy.
So yeah, why don't you just give us like a basic rundown of like where you're from, how you got started, like how old were you when you got started, how long you've been doing it. Let the people know.
I go by the name of Shameek the God. I came from the Portland area. I went to school in Westbrook, though. I've been writing since I was about 12 years old. I've been doing it for like something crazy, like 20 years, 20 something years, 28 years.
Yeah.
Originally, I got started. I formed a group with my homie Jedi and his cousin. We had formed a group called the Abador Clique.
Mm-hmm.
It was just the three of us originally, and his cousin ended up breaking off a separate way, and then other people throughout the times, many other people have come or been part of the group or whatever. One time it was like 5 or 6 of us at a time, like something
Yeah.
crazy like that. But we never actually released a full length LP or an EP. We released some music, and it got put on disc, and we sold it. We probably
Mm.
made like 400, 500 copies and sold them all, and that was like it.
Yeah.
I know you can find it. My homie OD had posted most of the tracks
Yeah.
on a
And
website.
I had some other ones too that I gave to him to put into that mix too. That was from that time frame too.
Yeah,
Um, so yeah, there's a great amount of music that you guys did, um, you know, with artists kind of like coming in and out of the fold and stuff, but still like the basis for bringing that real fucking, that real gritty hip hop was all there, no matter what, no matter who was popping in and out. I feel like, you know what I mean?
oh, true indeed.
Yeah. I remember too, you guys were working with this guy, and I for the longest time couldn't remember his name until the other day. I was talking with, That was, I think it was OD. Matter of fact, he said the guy was Joe Electric, or was
Joe
Joe
Electric.
Electric, yeah.
Joe Electric. I
And
remember.
I just
Yeah.
remember Remy just was like hating on him one time, and I was just like, I didn't know the guy, so I was like, oh, I don't know.
No,
But
I didn't fuck with Joe either, to be honest with you. Joe can eat a dick still to this day, as far as I'm concerned. Fuck that dude.
yeah, so that's pretty much what transpired there. But I mean, uh, yeah, I was trying to think of the guy. I called him like the evil fucking record producer guy, and he was like, "Yeah, Joe Electric." I was like, "Oh, that guy."
He
It
knew
was funny.
exactly what you was talking
Yeah,
about,
it was
right?
like, yeah, I was like, "That's hilarious." But no, yeah, that's dope, man. So like, normally we talk about some strange stuff. Um,
I like Strange.
Yeah, so like Libsy, I don't know if you have heard anything recently that's been strange or out of sorts. Um,
Um, well, honestly, it's not really. I don't know if you could say. Well, yeah, it's definitely strange. Bo Burnham dropped a new stand-up today on
oh,
Netflix, and he filmed it by himself, no crew, in his house during quarantine,
okay.
and it is a fucking roller coaster of a stand-up special.
All right. So we're gonna have to check it out, is what you're
Worth
saying.
watching.
Definitely worth it. If you're a fan of his comedy, it's definitely worth it. Definitely
Yeah.
top 10 stand-ups I've seen all year.
Um. Okay. So we need funny things, so that's a good thing to fucking check out.
Hell
For
yeah.
but yeah. So I got a couple things. Let me see here. So there's, speaking of like weird shit, right? A bounty for Bigfoot, $3 million announced by an Oklahoma lawmaker.
Three
So an
million
Oklahoma
dollars.
state, yeah, an Oklahoma state representative has announced a $3 million bounty for anyone who's able to safely capture the creature known as Bigfoot. The Museum of Unnatural History describes Bigfoot as a hairy giant, stands 7 to 9 feet tall. All right, we already know that. So like Bigfoot, um, is going to be somebody's payday, right? If they exist. But here's the thing: if we've already been looking for this motherfucker with without any kind of like reward, and like we ain't found him, so like I don't know if the money's going to help. I think people have spent more than $3 million trying to search for Bigfoot. Certain people, you know what I mean? And like it ain't happened yet. So like, what's going on?
I seen somebody just posted on my news feed the other day. It was a picture of like a stampeding animals, and you could see like the silhouette of a Bigfoot running in the background. Like that shit has to be photoshopped. But they were swearing up and down it was real.
Yeah. Some of them are suspect. There are some that I'm like, wow, that could maybe be something, but like a lot of times I'm like, I don't know. That people
Yeah,
can
exactly. You can fuck with videos and pictures and all that now.
Yeah, so I go to this. And this is a funny story because I don't know if you ever saw here in Maine. There was a show they did called Down East Dickering. It was on like I don't know Discovery or one of those fucking channels, right? And it was like basically this guy Tony Bennett was his name. He would go around. He would like go to like yard sales or like knick-knack places. He would try to find things, fix them up, flip them for money and shit like that, right? That was pretty much what it was. And
Okay.
so meanwhile, the show ended. It's been like I don't know a number of years since it ended. 4 or 5, whatever. And there's a story that comes out about a guy in Mexico, Maine, who has been going to the Walmarts up around that area and like picking up all the trash and shit like that. And because they don't pick up their trash, he's been telling them they need to pick it up, but they don't. And so he's been going there and cleaning it up. But what they don't mention in this whole story, and they got pictures of him and everything, is that he was ever on a show at all. Like, so the story, like, he's just like some guy, and he looks like a homeless guy with a huge beard and shit, and he's not wearing a shirt in the pictures, and it's like is cleaning up the trash and shit. And they're just like Tony Bennett from Bethel, Maine, but everybody's on the comments is like, that's the guy from Down East Dickering and shit. And they're like, he's a weed dealer and shit. It was fucking hilarious, dude. And so like, no, the comments were just priceless, right? But anyways, this story, which is just like a little local story, made this website that I look up all the time for weird news, right? So they have an article on this guy on this website called Audi.com, which is like usually fucking weird shit. But this story isn't even that weird. He's just picking up trash. They raked a bunch of trash off the road and dumped it right in front of the Walmart entrance. So he cleaned up all the trash all around the Walmart and then literally dumped it. all right in the front of the thing, and they called the cops on him, right? And they were like, "You can't do that." And he's like, "Well, how come they get to litter and just throw they don't have to pick up their trash, you know?" And they're like, "We don't care. You get arrested now." So like that made Audi, which to me was fucking crazy. So anyways, I was looking on Audi. I'm like, yeah, that's weird that made it there. But so how about this story though? There's a man who set his neighbor's house on fire, and for a real strange reason. So, an Iowa man set his neighbor's house ablaze on Saturday, and it wasn't because of something they did, because of something they didn't do. He was mad because they didn't mow his lawn, not their lawn, his lawn. Police were called to the house around 6 p.m. because of flames. Lee Bowman, 53 of Sioux City, admitted that he was upset because he'd asked his neighbors to mow his lawn on Saturday, but they hadn't done it. By Sunday, they still hadn't cut the grass, so he went over and asked again when they would mow. Surveillance videos show he tried to take a registration sticker off one of their vehicles. The fire was discovered by a neighbor. The neighbor banged on the door, alerting them the corner was burned, causing only an estimated $3,000 in damage. They did investigate, and the fire was arson. Sticks and plywood were propped against the house and lit on the same side of the house that he lives on, and he was caught on camera. So yeah, when he got arrested, they were like, "Why did you do it?" And that's what he said, like they didn't mow my lawn. And yeah, so that's just like that's some fucking like, you know,
It's kind of savage.
yeah. But I mean, come on, that's like just some like I don't know,
It's
stupid.
petty.
It's petty, but it's just like it's like why are you relying on your neighbors so much? And like if they didn't do it, why don't you just do it? You know what I mean? They don't go into the details in the story. Like, does he not have a lawnmower, or like, you know what I mean? Can he just be like, "Can I borrow your lawnmower if you're not going to do it?" No, just burn the house down.
That sounds like something I heard the other day on the radio. I didn't actually hear the story, but there was a story of a dude who burned his own house down because he did not want his girlfriend moving in. Like that was his decision. He's like, you know what? I can't do this.
Yeah.
If I can't have the house to myself, no, neither of us can have the house, man. You can't move in. That
That's
shit
why
is crazy.
we went over a story a few weeks back about husband and wife from India where they moved like 16 times in 2 years because like, you know what I'm saying? Like it was like cockroaches or something in their fucking house, and they would move, and then she'd find another cockroach, and they'd have to move again, like literally right off. And he's like, he ended up divorcing her. He's like, I'm tired of fucking moving. You know what I mean? Like, not doing it anymore. And like that was in India, and that was wild. That was a crazy fucking story. But there's another one about a blind man partially recovers his vision with algae genes. Did you hear about that? He was blind, but
Nah.
now he sees. Man lost his eyesight decades ago. Is now able to see objects. It's he his name is Mr. X. He's 58 years old and has beginning to see vision problems 40 years ago. So he has retensis pigmentosa, RP. It's a fancy way to say light sensitive cells in the back of your eye die off due to faulty genes. So what they do is they fucking literally inject this algae into his fucking eyeballs, and it regrows. It's kind of luminescence and shit like that, and it allows that extra light to come into his vision so he can start to see again, which is fucking wild, right? And so yeah, he had to wear goggles on his face for like 3 months that kept his eyes relatively dark and just take him off to like clean and shit. But when he opened his eyes after 3 months, he could see more than he could see for the past like 20 years. And it's only getting better because while it's in there, it kind of like does its thing. You know what I'm saying? And then at some point it grows back the cells. And at some point they are able to give him something that kills off that algae inside his eye. Is that fucking crazy?
That's Jesus.
Yeah, dude. But yeah, who is it? We got Cam over here.
Got Cam lurking.
I see Cam lurking. Is he gonna pop on or what?
No idea.
All right. Well, he gets there for a minute. All right. So, and then I know this one's kind of cool. Unconventional funeral traditions from across the world. So, you know, I've heard some weird shit, but some of these are really weird. Smoked mummies, hanging coffins, fantasy coffins, which, I mean, that doesn't seem too weird, but Um,
You know what's really weird?
what's that?
Do y'all know how they dispose of their dead in Louisiana?
How they do? How they do it?
Shit is crazy. I went down there and
Because it's
was
all
on this
water, right?
tour. Yeah, like it's swampland, so they can't
Yeah.
bury them in the ground. So they'll have like that's why they have all those above ground tombs. But
Yeah.
dig, once your family buys a tomb, they have to care for that tomb. Like they have to take care of it,
Uh-huh.
and they, like it's there. It's like property there. And when somebody dies, they put them on a slab and just stick them in there, and then they cook over years.
Oh wow.
Yeah, their body
Jesus.
cooks, and then like they open it up and just push the shit off of the slab and put another body on it when they need to use it again.
After a certain amount of years, that's crazy.
Whenever they can push that shit off,
Yeah, they're
once
like,
it's been fully cooked.
shit's ready. That's crazy.
I thought the shit was crazy too. They acted like the shit was
Shit,
normal there.
shit
They were like, "What?
doesn't fucking smell. It doesn't like
Nah,
smell
this is
failure.
cool." Like, yo, they even had a spot where if one body hadn't been cooked enough before they needed to put a new one in, they could put the new one in to a slot to hold it until that body had finished cooking, and then they could push that body off and pull the other one out the holding spot and put it in. I'm like, you got to be fucking kidding
Okay,
me.
I gotta smoke. I can't.
That's some
Oh
weird ass
man,
shit, man. Uh,
was some weird ass shit.
I don't understand how they think that's normal, but
That I went down there, and it was like, "What you mean? You don't want to be with your relatives and shit?" I'm like, "Not like that.
no, I don't
No
want
Maybe.
shit."
to cook me and push me off like I'm a fucking old turkey.
Oh man, why don't you just cremate me already and get it over with at that point?
Right? That's what I'm saying. It doesn't make no sense. But yeah, let's see.
Yeah,
What
I'm
do we
good.
got? Oh yeah. So first projects influences we kind of talked about a little bit. You said you had started kind of doing stuff at 12, and then you had the Abadors. But like, what would you consider like your first project that you ever put out for people to like hear? And like, what were your influences for that particular project? If you,
My
if
first
you
project I put out, like under my own name, is Shameek the God, is God Complex.
mm-hmm.
I believe I dropped that in 2015. You know, I know Spotify says it was like 2019 or 20, but that's because I had to re-upload it. But
Right.
originally, it dropped in 2015. I don't know who would I say were my major influences for that one because I went, I was away for a while.
Yeah.
I spent some time and I dropped that when I came home, and I hadn't really listened to a lot of stuff at that point. So like, but I would say maybe I really like Cage. I listened to a lot of Cage.
Yeah.
Cage probably influenced it in the sense that the music he makes is different. Um, and I felt like that album, for me, I set it up or I put that album together in a specific way, and it was meant to be listened to from beginning to end, in a sense.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but you know, I don't know. I still love the project. I haven't listened to it in a very long time, but
Yeah. Um, Yeah, I still listen to that shit from time to time too because I have like a main hip hop playlist or whatever,
oh
and
yeah, yeah.
a bunch of your shit is on there and everybody else's shit, and I listen to that playlist all the time. So
Hey
uh,
man, I appreciate that.
yeah, dude. So it's got some classic shit, and I love the fact. Like, why don't you talk a little bit about the process of making that project? Because I know it was like a different, maybe a little slightly different than usual process to make that.
You know what's funny? If you listen to it, like the first two tracks, they was the first two tracks were like the first two tracks I recorded. Literally, I remember when I got home, my man Hayes hit me up. I
Yeah,
ran into him at this place. I was looking for a job, and everybody looked weird to me. And he came over. He said, "What's up, man? I ain't seen you in forever." And I just kind of looked at him funny. He's like, "What? You don't remember me?" I'm like, nah, but he's like, yo, I want to be the first one that does a song with you when you get home. When you get on, you start recording it. I want to be the first one to do a song with you. And literally, he was.
yeah,
That would be business as usual. Then there was like
hmm
the intro or whatever. But the first like two, three tracks, four tracks were literally like how I was feeling when I got home. But then you can see it takes a quick. it kind of dips and it gets darker
Yeah.
towards the middle, and like it doesn't really let up until the end. And really even then it doesn't. And like that's just kind of, for me, it was like me coming back to the world, seeing the world anew,
Mm-hmm.
and then seeing how terrible the world was, and
Yeah.
how crazy things were, and how much things had changed. Like motherfuckers had smartphones. Like I walk down the street and look at everybody, and everybody looking down like this. Everybody walking around, sitting on benches and shit. I didn't see nothing like that before. So like that shit was crazy to me when I first came home.
Yeah.
It was just
That's
so foreign.
yeah.
Um,
Everybody just droning out.
yeah, they didn't have smartphones when I went away. So like coming home and seeing that, it was absolutely crazy to
Yeah.
me, and I just didn't get it. And now I'm sucked into the same cycle,
Uh,
which ain't really, you know what it is, what it is. But like that,
yeah.
coming home, you had that feeling like the newness, and that things got old real quick,
Right.
and that's kind of how the album went itself. Um,
Yeah. The album. I mean, I love a bunch of shit on there. There's Art of Manipulation. Uh,
oh
I love
yeah,
85 and 5. I love how how on some of the shit you like chopped the shit up.
yeah. Like I
That
mean, between the one before that, there's the art of manipulation. I can't
yeah.
think of the name of the song before that, but
Can't
can't
stop
stop
shaking.
shaking. Yeah. So
Yeah.
like it was literally like it was supposed to go from can't stop shaking to that to 85 and 5. Like
Yeah.
it was kind of it was a story in a sense.
Right. It
And that,
flowed together. Yeah.
yeah, it was supposed to. Really,
Um,
those could all have been one long track, but I was like, fuck it, let
right.
me just go ahead and cut it up.
But
Maybe
keep
someone
it
like this one
moving.
better than the other one, you know.
Another good one that I like too. Fucking. I mean, pretty much. There's a bunch on there that
You
I.
know, I had the feature from Gore-Tex from Nonfiction.
Yep.
That was a long time in the making. That was kind of
That
dope to finish
that
that
was
track.
dope too. But I never was too. I wasn't really into Gore-Tex, but like a lot of people I know were into him.
I
And
like this first album.
right, and
Like
that's
I
pretty much
listened to his
all
first album like on repeat when he came out, but I like that weird shit. I
I.
like a little bit of everything, but I like that weird shit too.
I love the production that he was going, but yeah, like some off the wall shit that he would say would be like, because like I was
Yeah,
one of those people who was like, I liked Eminem and what he in like. I was like, oh, Eminem, like he's white, yay, white people can do this, and then it was like the shit he was saying was like off the wall, and it kind of made me be like, damn, like this is what people are gonna think of, like all white people are gonna be like popping Vicodin and talking about killing their
Jesus
fucking
Christ.
girlfriends and
But
shit,
he
but
definitely I mean, he definitely told a specific he's told a specific group
right,
of white people's story.
hmm
So a lot of people related to it for that reason.
yeah.
Um, you know,
And I'm just saying at first it was like I listened to the first album and was like okay, and then it just from there it kind of for me was just like too much, you know what I mean?
I don't know. Did you hear his last one though? His
Right.
last one was good. Like a lot of people hate on Eminem, but like I thought, I'm gonna go on record saying like I think his last album was pretty dope.
Yeah, and the one he did more recently, yes, he
Yeah,
did one that had a couple songs on it. I think it was 2015, 16, 17. I don't remember, but and the last one he did was decent too. But it's again, he's completely pretty much changed the content that he's talking about too. You know what I mean? And it's switched up the flow, in my opinion, a lot
oh,
compared to that
definitely.
first fucking album. You know what I mean? Or even a
Oh,
little bit of the second one. And for me, I really liked that style of Eminem, like the
yeah.
rap and how he would just everything he said was dope. It was just the content for me was a little over the top. You know what I'm saying?
I
So
feel you.
yeah, and for me, so even for me, listening to Eminem and saying that, then trying to listen to people like Gore-Tex or even Necro too, like it's another one that people are like, "Yo, Necro's dope," and I agree. Like production always on fucking point, but sometimes
Production.
you just be saying fucked up shit.
I
like,
don't listen to Necro as a rapper, but I think his production is just off the
yeah,
chain for an underground producer.
yeah,
Like
that's what I'm saying. Like his production is
he's
super
produced for Ghost. He produced for Raekwon and Ghostface. What was the name of that song? Jihad. I think it was. I think
yeah,
it was off Only Built for Cuban Links too.
yeah.
That shit, Jihad. He produced that shit. He's an amazing producer overall.
Yeah, no fucking disagreements from me. It's just it's funny that you say that though, because a lot of people don't even fucking know like that he even makes beats, right? And so they just would like hear a Necro song with him rapping and be like, oh, that's crazy shit. But
Yeah,
they don't know like most of the fucking beats are like him, and like he just makes super fucking dope beats. It's just so they're so
Oh
like
yeah.
epitome of fucking hip hop. Really, his
He he
beats. You know what I mean?
he did nonfiction's album.
Yep.
The Future Is Now. That shit is a classic underground hip hop album. He produced the whole thing.
Yep. But yeah, for me, the shock factor of rap sometimes would be like too much for me, and I just would like I'm love the smooth rappers like Jay-Z and Nas and shit like
Oh
that.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That was like my style. I was like, oh, this is great. Now I hear the shock
Yeah,
shit, and I'm
too.
like, damn, like the fuck. But
I
that's just
I
me.
listen to both personally.
I was gonna say, see here in my opinion, I'm a big fan of the shock rap. Like
Yeah,
I Tyler the Creator was one of the ones that really put me onto that. And then I found like Brother Lynch Hung and Ghetto Boys and all kinds of crazy shit. See, I feel like you can do that crazy, like fucked up shit, but it just has to flow right. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like if like it's cool if you want to rap that style, but if it's kind of jagged and shit, like it is pretty off-putting. If you can do it with like say like a Jay-Z Nas-esque kind of
yeah,
flow, that shit would go fucking bananas. You
yeah,
know what I mean?
yeah. Um, it's not like I would never listen to it. It's just I wouldn't be gravitated towards it as much as the other stuff. You know what I mean? I'll
Yeah.
listen to
Hey,
all of it. Yo,
Libsy, how do you feel about Cage?
Honestly, I'm not familiar with the discography. I've obviously heard Cage before, but like I'm not gonna sit here and be like, oh yeah, I'm a fan.
Oh yeah,
I haven't really
I'm a
listened too
huge
much of him.
I'm a huge fan. I've been following him since the '90s, and like I've just watched him progress. And that's the thing with an artist; you can't always expect the same thing from him because
no.
as people we would progress, as
Yep.
artists we progress. We can't, we don't want to talk about the same shit all the time. There's a lot of things I
Yeah.
said when I first started rapping that I would just never say now, because
Oh yeah,
it's
100%. Yeah.
disrespectful and like there's a lot of when I came out first, I just wanted to say some raw, dirty shit, and I would say a lot of things
Yeah.
that I would, like to this day I would never say. It's because it's just not who I am anymore.
Right. Yep. I feel the same way. Yeah, a lot of stuff put down when you're young and fucking making music. You can look back and be like, damn, that was not good. But yeah, moving on. Yeah, I mean, we fucking we broke
Yeah. So that
anything.
was a bad time in my life, and I
But
was
yeah,
in with
shit
disappointments.
changes, bro, and that's fucking the whole beauty of the process too of creating. You focus on. You could be rapping one day, making beats the next. You never know. Or like making
Sure,
videos
indeed.
and other creative things that are still creative. Painting, whatever, and it's still an outlet. And you don't even. Sometimes you just go through life. You don't even realize that that's what's happening. But
Right.
progress in any direction is always good. So uh yeah, so what about like in school? Did you ever like will you ever play an instrument, or not even in school, but like did you ever play any instruments at all, like guitar, fucking keyboards, drums, anything like that?
You know,
Clarinets,
you
keyboards.
know, I joined band in like fifth grade and played the trumpet,
Yeah.
but I didn't follow through with it because I
And
was I was I was on some other shit.
playing instruments are hard
after
too.
fifth grade, it was like all bets are off, and I started like like
Yeah.
the young
Hip hop and
adolescent shit,
fucking
all the
everything else,
shit you
like,
ain't supposed to be doing. That's what I was doing back then, and
yeah.
but so I didn't really get into instruments then. Recently, I mean, I can bang on the drum machine a little bit.
Yep.
Recently I gotten into production. Not recently, really, but like once COVID, right before COVID hit, I had a hard push and I really got into production. I was learning Logic, and I produced quite a few beats. A lot actually. I produced a lot with my man Genius Black, and we might possibly have a collabo album coming out with just beats that like him and I have worked on together,
Yeah.
which is a dope idea for the future. But I mean, that's not my main focus right now. My main focus is Sleeping Giants #2 right now, or really just making music. But
Yeah, just doing it. Once that fucking whole setup is finished and you can get in there, I bet you're gonna let
uh,
some shit out. I'm sure as soon
I've
as
been
you
yeah,
go.
I've actually got some collabs lined up. I don't want to throw no names out there or anything, but
Yeah,
I've had some agreements to some tracks, so we'll see if that happens. If
yeah, that'd
not,
be good. Collabs are always fucking good because yeah, why not? You have to do that. That's the way to fucking do it anyway.
sure
There's always
Facts.
indeed.
time for fucking solo shit, but of course collaborations can inspire different things. Like you already know.
right now I'm just in the mode of like I'm trying to finish this booth downstairs for one thing, and I'm crazy busy, but I'm in the mode of like I just want to make songs right now, like just find beats I like, make songs to them, and not like aim to like put something specific together. But Sleeping Giants #2 is the first priority.
Yeah, of course. That
That's
I feel like the first one was kind of like just unfinished in a way, like because it was like I felt like we could have done a little bit more with the project, but we that's it. You know, that's
oh,
what we
so
ended up.
dude,
So,
like I mean, I was just on like not every project has to be, like 20 tracks.
oh yeah, definitely.
That's kind of how I feel about it. Like I feel like if it's short and there ain't no filler in it, because
Yeah,
motherfuckers be putting filler tracks on they,
mm,
like
yeah.
what
But
they
I
shouldn't have put on. They want to put on the album, but like there was no filler in that.
I feel like we were vibing at that particular time, and then I ended up leaving. And I feel like if I didn't, we would have just probably kept making tracks.
Oh, true
That's all.
indeed.
And I'm not saying we would shoot for like, hey, let's do 20, but I'm sure we would have got a bunch more done.
Oh,
And
true indeed.
then the whole, COVID
True.
shit happened and everything else, and that slowed the process of getting the second one going. But I'm excited to get that one going too, and I know that you'll have uh, some features on there too. You'll probably pull people in. I'm probably gonna drop a verse or two on something on there too this time around. So, um,
Yeah, I'm also working on that track. You remember the one you sent me, that crazy one?
yep,
Yeah, for your project.
yep,
I'm excited about that track.
yeah, good because
Just
I
know,
can't
just
wait to
just
have.
know, I'm putting my all into that one. I have some ideas,
Yeah.
and they're coming together, and I think that's going to be one of my better tracks. We'll
Yeah,
put it that
I'm
way.
letting everybody take their fucking time, and I feel like if I even get like 5 or 6 songs together for that project, I'll be happy. And right now
Word.
I got 3, so we're doing good. Um, and like I said, the issue, from that whole project, like equal rights, police brutality, and all that other shit is not at this point. I don't see it going anywhere. So we're going to be dealing with it, whether it's right now or 6 months down the road. So whenever that project happens to pop out, it's going to be relevant. You know what I mean? That's that's the unfortunate fucking thing about it. It's like we can't seem as a country to fucking figure out policing and fucking shit like that, which you can see some other countries have changed things and done a really good with it. Even they were just reading a story about Newark, New Jersey, how they send people out for issues instead of police, like mental health people and shit like that, and they've reduced their like arrests by like 90%. And
Damn.
so yeah, a lot of shit is changing there, but that's just one small place. You know what I'm saying? I don't know why it's so hard to get changes like that implemented all across the board. And yeah, so that's something that obviously it draws from deep like emotional roots and shit. So making music about it, you got to make sure you're saying exactly what the fuck you're thinking and not getting it all. You know what I mean? So take your fucking time. I told everybody that. I'm not. I had to originally put a date on it, but then I was like, don't worry about a date. I sent you the information, and I still keep in contact with people too. Like, yo, how's it going? Like, don't rush it though. Like, but when it comes to you, just make sure that you put it down on my beat in this project. You know what I mean? So, yeah, we're still
Yeah.
working in the background towards it for sure. But
Consider that beat torched.
yeah, I already did as soon as I sent it. So, um, but yeah, so now we talk about what might be your favorite unexplained phenomenon. Like, out of all the things that are paranormal or unexplained, what kind of piques your interest the most? You think?
Definitely ghosts.
Oh yeah. So if
Definitely
you had
ghosts.
the follow up question for that always is whatever you choose. Have you ever seen like personally dealt with anything like ghostly or anything happen to you personally?
Indeed.
Yeah.
On many occurrences, but the most notable one, um, I saw a full bodied apparition in Evergreen Cemetery.
Ever?
Oh
Where's that
shit.
for people?
Evergreen Cemetery, that's in Portland.
Okay, Portland,
It's
Maine,
right on Stevens Ave.
Stevens Ave.
Yeah.
So it's an
Right
old
across from
cemetery.
Macaulay and shit. Yeah.
Yeah, it's old. Been
Yeah.
around there since probably what 60s,
So
1700s.
so here's a story.
Yeah.
Me and OD and Jedi, after after the bars would close, we would have like beer or liquor or whatever store like already stashed in the car, and we would hop the fence at Evergreen Cemetery and sit on the steps of this mausoleum and get drunk.
Yeah.
Um, this one night in particular, we're walking along this path, and I see, and like we're watching, like we're looking for Chisholm was the name of the one we used to sit on, and we were looking for the mausoleum, and we're watching like as the graves are passing. I'm looking and I'm thinking that's a grave that I'm looking at, right? Because it's white and pale,
Mm-hmm.
and but as we got closer, I looked at it and it looked like it looked like a woman, and it was just kind of like I I I stopped to see if it was indeed a gravestone, and I was like tripping or something, and it kept moving, it kept moving, and I said
Oh,
nothing.
that's
I was
sus.
I was I was with OD and Jedi. They kept moving. I said nothing, and then when it disappeared, and I looked like this, I said, "Yo." And OD turned around and looked at me, and he said, "Oh, you saw that too? I thought I was tripping." Jedi was like, "Nah, y'all." He didn't see it, but me and OD both saw it.
That's craziness.
Yeah.
Um,
And
yeah, there's been some things that have happened a couple times, I guess, with me. One time I was a kid, and the story's old as shit now, but I was probably like, 5, 6, maybe years old, staying at my grandmother's house, sleeping in her room. She lived in a trailer, so it was a long hallway that went down to the other side of the house. It was just one bedroom, right? And I remember waking up in the middle of the night and seeing some light, you know what I mean, but not thinking much of it. And like then shortly after that, um, she like wakes me up and it's like, "Yo, did you see that?" She's like, "This ball of light," and I was like, "I thought I saw a light." She claimed that she had saw her dead son who had been like stabbed to death back before I was even born.
The
Um,
fuck?
yeah, and
yeah,
she said that the ball came up and said to her, "Soon, ma, soon, ma," and she was his voice. She claimed, right? All I remember is like as I was so young, I just remember waking up and thinking that she was out in the kitchen, right? Because
Yeah.
I saw a light coming from the hallway. Well, it turns out that light was something she saw, and I was like, "Oh, she's up," and kind of rolled over because that's what you do when you're a kid. Whatever. I didn't think anything of it. She claims that that's what happened. So that's pretty much like the closest thing I've ever witnessed with my own eyes. But there's been some other strange things. Now, I don't know if it's ghost related, but not this grandmother I'm talking about. My other grandmother, she had passed away from cancer in 1997 in September, and so my mother had a little at her house. She had a little craft like store. She would make these things like little bottles with like vinaigrette in it and like decorate it, put the wax on top, and like make these fucking weird like little craft things. And she had a sign, and sometimes people driving to Kennebunkport would stop by and they would like fucking stop in or whatever. Not often, but once in a while. So about a week after my grandmother had passed away, these two people stopped at our house and they saw the sign. They wanted to see what was going on. And I'm sitting in the living room and I can see them get out of the car and they're coming in. And I double taked, right? Because I thought that was her getting out of the car. When I saw, I was like, "What the fuck?" And I go run into the other room and I told my mother, "That's like someone's coming in here." And I was like, "It looks like Nell." And she's like, "No way." And I'm like, "Yeah, seriously, like they're here right now, coming in." And sure as shit, she came in. It was like her fucking twin, dude. Like they could have been twins. And the thing about it that was crazy is she was dressed in the same type of shit that Nell would wear. She wore like Patagonia stuff, you know what I mean?
No shit.
Like
Okay.
Columbia things, and she had LL Bean stuff, and this lady had LL Bean socks, a Patagonia fucking thing, and she had reading glasses all the time. She would have reading glasses, and she had short hair, and she had the reading glasses, and they always had this thing on the back, that keep it from falling off your head. Old people fucking have like you can leave your glasses down and it stays there, and her glasses would always be up on her head. And this lady had everything like she would always do, and she looked like her, sounded like her, and everything, right? And so my mother is just blown away. She goes and gets a book with pictures of Nell in it and brings it out and shows this lady, and this lady is herself is blown away. She's like, saying, "Wow, that's crazy," and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just like, wow, I couldn't stop looking at her because I couldn't believe how much she looked like her. And then So my mother's like, oh, what are you doing there? They were coming, I think, from Massachusetts. Said they were here for the weekend, and they just happened to see the sign. And so she's like, oh, well, take my number and this and that. She's like, well, what's your name? And I fucking shit you not, the lady's fucking name was Angel, bro.
Word.
Bruh.
Yeah, the
That's
lady's name was
crazy.
Angel, dude. And yeah, I couldn't believe it. My mother took her name and number. She wrote it down, and she had thought about, because she said she's leaving like whatever day. She's like, I'll be here till this day. Maybe we can get together and do have a coffee or something, right? Grab lunch before you leave.
Right.
And so she's like, yeah, of course, just give me a call, blah 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 blah, right?
Mm-hmm.
My mother goes to call that lady, and there's like the number wasn't working or some shit like that.
Right.
And so she took off. She left in a fucking Volvo, which is what Nell drove to, Volvo, which is
Bro.
pretty specific.
Yeah,
So
that's
it
too
was crazy,
coincidental.
right? It was crazy. So that particular incident, I actually witnessed with my own eyes, and I could say it was the craziest fucking thing ever, because we never heard from that lady. Never came by our house. We lived there for till 2000 and fucking. I mean, she lived there till 2010. That lady never came back. So
That's
that was in 97. So like in 13 years, that lady never came back. She wasn't inspired enough by that story to ever set foot back there again. To me, that's weird. That
Yeah.
yeah.
in itself is even weirder than her being Angel and pulling up to the house like that, looking like her. And my mother was crying, dude, because she it wasn't even my mother's mother. It was my dad's stepmother, right? That was her. Nell. So like, but she was just really close with her because Nell treated me like really well when I was a kid. She would take care of me and shit. And she was she was a school teacher in Saco for years and years and years. She was actually the first woman athletic director in the state of Maine, if you can believe that.
Oh, that's cool.
So she Nell Lemire was her name, and yeah, it was the craziest thing, dude. I still to this day will mention that story, and people have similar stories of things like that happening after people die, which is wild, dude. I thought like it was just like a crazy thing, like I was being crazy about it, but no, it's a common occurrence, I guess, that happens to some people. They'll have like a doppelganger show up, or they'll pass by them on the street, or some shit. I just think that this chance, the mathematical equations to this shit just can't possibly add up. Like coincidences like that just do not happen if we're living in this completely randomized fucking world. It's like what happened that day is fucking damn near
It's like a
impossible.
glitch. It's like a glitch in the Matrix.
Yeah,
Literally.
Yeah.
exactly. And to me, that was the wildest, most ghostly thing I've ever seen as far as that. Being creeped out though about shit when I was
Mm-hmm.
younger was easy. Like I would never leave the closet door open at night. I'd make sure that shit was
I still don't.
closed. Like I'm better about it now, but like even up till my 20s, I'd be like, make sure the doors closed, windows locked, this and that. I don't creep by like no cemeteries at night. Like that's just how I was. Even though I never saw nothing really, you know what I mean, except for scary movies. Be like, all right. So nowadays, when I'm older, shit doesn't bother me anymore because I just feel like since I've never really seen anything except for that one incident, which was for me, a great moment. It wasn't a scary moment at all. Like none of it felt scary. So to me, it was like nothing like that could really fuck with you. You know what I'm saying? But then you got other things like shit that I'm into right now, especially is fucking Bigfoot. I'm trying to figure out what the fuck is going on with Bigfoot, man. There's so many theories, like seriously, so many theories. Like, is Bigfoot like a physical creature, lives here on Earth, and is just a earthly creature? Right? That's a
Mm-hmm.
theory. Another theory would be: is he more of a interdimensional creature, can travel in between dimensions, or he lives in another dimension most of the time and sometimes it crosses over, kind of deal? Or is Bigfoot alien in origin? You know what I mean? So like I'm trying to nail it down. Like we don't have really much proof of him or them right now, so what is it? That's what I want to know. And I think the easiest way to explain it, like I've mentioned a few times on here, is that dimensional thing, because I think that science has kind of proven that the multiverse or whatever is a huge possibility that it's happening right now,
That's true.
and it could be everything very similar in the timelines, but just different by a little bit. You know what I mean? And so that particular timeline maybe it's like pages in a book. That's how the physicists were trying to explain it, right? If you fold a book, and all the pages are really close together, it'd be easy for some of the ink to get on the other page, right? Something like
Yeah.
that, I think, is how they explained it. But if you got this book opened all the way up and every single page has space in between it and it looks like this, you know what I mean? Then it's harder for the ink to transfer. And he's like, so in the multiverse, sometimes each one of those layers is a universe. Think of it that way. And sometimes they're fluid in movement, and sometimes they'll touch each other, and things can be seen in the other universe, even if it's temporary. But he's also saying that, like a book, only things we can see would be in the universes that are right next to us.
Okay.
And the universe, I say whatever it is, multiverse or alternate dimension or whatever you want to call it, alternate universe. This was what I was reading, and then to me that could explain a lot of what the fuck's happening, not only with Bigfoot but even with like ghosts and shit, or ghosts, like you're seeing, you know what I mean, the energy or something that's maybe even still alive. It's just in their timeline or their universe, it's a completely different shit, and it's just shifting into ours and shifting out, and they don't even know, or maybe they do know, you know what I mean, like we do. They see things like a little bit and they're like, what the fuck is that? It's the same for them, you know what I mean? So like that kind of was a way for me to kind of cop out and say, okay, so this is kind of explainable in a science term, like it's explainable because universes exist and multi-universes probably exist, so for me, people will be like, yeah, Bigfoot's just a super a superhero, super villain, whatever. He's got superpowers. Motherfucker can just rip trees out of the ground, and that might be true, but I don't think that that's coming from here. Like it didn't come from here. And if it did, we need to prove it. That's the thing. It drives me nuts, because all these shows, it's like 17 shows that are playing on TV right now. Motherfuckers trying to catch a Bigfoot. They can't even get 16 fucking centimeters of hair to get a good test on what the fuck it is, or like anything, like, but footprints.
Right.
Where's the toes? Like motherfuckers don't lose a toe. Motherfuckers don't lose a finger. They don't lose shit.
Motherfuckers don't die.
Yeah, they don't die. Well, that was another thing. Like, yeah, they die, but like you give a dead body out in the woods, like just laying there, it's not long before they're pretty much all gone. And there isn't nothing left to fucking even be like there. I've watched people be like, that's why we don't ever find them, is because like in 3 months, like any animal would go to like a weird spot to die, because they know they're gonna die. So they like hide somewhere and then they die, and then 3 months later they're just nothing but bones, and then 3 months after that, the bones are gone. Like,
Never anything though. I guarantee we found carcasses of anything else.
Yeah,
Never
exactly.
never
And
ever.
that's why I'm like, what the alternate universe could
3 months is a long time. Who's to say someone don't walk by and smell that shit? You feel me?
maybe you can't die in this universe if you're from
Vultures would pick the bones and shit.
like maybe they can only die in their universe. That's why we can't ever find their body. You know what I'm saying? So they temporarily may come here, and it's weird because we'll see them in the woods and shit, but it's really they're on their plane and they're just temporarily crossing over, and they can only die there. They can't die here because that'd be fucking weird, right?
Yeah.
Because it's not already weird enough to be fucking Bigfoot. Hey, Libsy, I want to mention this to you while we're talking about the weird shit. There's something weird in fucking Massachusetts, dude.
Tell me about it.
Have you heard of the fucking some sort of triangle, like the
the Bridgewater Triangle, of course.
Bridgewater Triangle, dude. That.
What the fuck is the Bridgewater Triangle?
All right, so the Bridgewater Triangle, it spans over 3 different counties, and it's literally the majority of it is the Freetown State Forest. But it's supposed to be like the home of Bigfoot, Thunderbirds, satanic cults, aliens, you name it, it's probably been there.
Yeah, so weird occurrences happen in this triangle area of Massachusetts, which is just to the northwest of you, pretty much.
Bro, it's literally like a 15-minute drive, not even.
Yeah, so just to the northwest of where he's at. So it's pretty close to him, and I'm thinking like I got to get out there and check some shit out. But yeah, weird shit like what happens in Bermuda Triangle. They, and they're saying something about Indian land too, is what I was reading about.
Yeah, if I'm correct, the actual land was the site of like a massive fucking massacre. No. It was the site of a Indian chief that had called for like a big massacre amongst the settlers.
3,000 Indians dead.
Yeah.
3,000.
That chief, it's rumored that he placed a curse on the land when he died, and that's why it's all fuck you over there.
Yeah. But that's interesting to me. Like anything that's paranormal and like in this area, like is interesting to me. Like I'm like contemplating starting a fucking documentary style fucking thing about researching fucking paranormal shit. Not limiting it to just ghosts or just whatever, but anything. You know what I'm saying? Whatever it
Word.
is, we'll fucking like come check it out. Like that would be a fucking dope idea for a show. We should pitch it to fucking Hero. Like, look, we'll play music during the show, and then
Yeah.
there's cut scenes and shit. We'll play some music, and then we'll just get back to it and be like, that's how we can incorporate music. And we're gonna do it. It's gonna make
Or
a
we
fucking
can, or it can just be like during Halloween, and we can just do like spooky
yes,
episodes.
yes. Halloween week. Your birthday
Yes.
on Halloween, by the way, right?
It is indeed.
Yeah. So
My wedding anniversary is Halloween.
Shane Rice's birthday is on Halloween too.
Oh yeah, we share.
He never lets you forget.
Oh yeah.
Halloween birthday, buddy. Fucking
Word, he hits me with that every time I talk to him.
um
That's
yeah,
that's like how he thinks of me.
he meant
Birthday
it
buddy.
to me too. He's like, yeah, he's like we're both buddies. Like, I know that. You don't let me forget. That's how I know. But yeah, so go. So no other. You said several occurrences. So you had that one. What else happened that that you remember?
So I was, this verification recently actually too. Um, I used to live at my grandmother's house when I was younger. I must have been like 5, 6 years old when this happened.
Yeah.
And I'm laying in the bed that I'm sleeping in the guest room, and there's like a bureau to the left of me and a mirror on it. And through that mirror, because the door was like to the foot of the bed and on the right, you could see out the door. You could see into the hallway. Um, and in the hallway there was a mirror too. That you could see clearly. Like when I was laying down in bed and I looked up, I could see like clearly out into the hallway and in front of that mirror. And one morning I woke up and I looked at that mirror and I saw something standing in the mirror staring at itself. Um, I'm not exactly sure what I was looking at, but from what I can remember a lot of bright colors, almost something maybe almost with like a Native American headdress on, kind of. Um, but it was a long time ago. That's how I remember it. I'm
Yeah.
sure that's not how it actually happened, but I remember looking at this thing and this thing standing in the mirror and staring at itself, and then looking at me and like stomping its foot and making this noise. And then I blacked out and I woke up and I thought it was a dream, but there was totally like this huge black feather sitting in front of the mirror
Huh.
when I got up. And I'd asked my grandmother, I asked if she was up because I thought she might have been up getting ready for work. Because I used to see her in that mirror when she'd be getting ready for work at like 5 in the morning and wake me up. I'd look in the mirror and I could see her out in the hallway. But she didn't have to work that day, so she wasn't up. She told me
Oh
that.
shit.
So
That's crazy. That's wild.
pretty wild.
Yeah.
And the confirmation for that is my older brother, who's 5 years older than me, told me that he saw something at nighttime in that same hallway, and he thought it was Medusa. He ran into my grandparents' room and woke him up, and like they made him go back to, but like it was in the exact same spot. And
Mm.
we just talked about this like a couple months ago. Like this is way back when we was kids, and we both remember that experience.
Yeah.
My grandma's house a little creepy.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie.
My mother had a story when she was younger. She had something happen at one of her houses. She used to tell the story all the time that my one night my uncle, her brother was a little bit older. He came home drunk. She was still like 12 or 13 years old or something, and she heard some banging and shit. Well, he would go out drinking almost every night, right? That was the thing. So he would go out drinking, sneak out, and he would like come back late and try to creep in. And so she woke up in the middle of the night. She heard something, right? She figured it was him. coming home after being drunk. She heard something downstairs, and she's up in her bed and she's laying there awake, and she hears the bedroom door open up, like, you know what I mean? Like, and she's thinking he's creeping in to try to scare her or some shit, because he would do that sometimes, scare him, you know, and they'd be like, but nothing happened. Just the door creaked open. And so she's laying there thinking that he's going to do that. And then all of a sudden something grabbed her foot and she was ready, and she switched the light on, but nothing was there. And so she looked over, because she slept in a room with her sister Kathy, right? Looked over at Kathy, and Kathy was awake staring at her, and she said, "What happened?" And she's like, "Did you see that?" And she's like, "Where's Michael?" My mom said that was her brother. And so they looked around the room and nobody was in there. So she's like, "I don't know." And they, got up, went about the house. He wasn't even home. He hadn't come home yet, right? So she's like,
freaky.
yeah. So she's like, "Okay, whatever." They go back upstairs, shut the shit off, closes the door, back again, right? Get back in bed, shut the fucking light off. Now they're both awake, right? Door creaks open again. This time, both the fucking feet get grabbed. They turn the fucking light on, nobody's there again, and then they left the room. And I don't think they went back in that room. I think they had to trade rooms with Michael, because he was never home anyway at night. At that point, he was like 19 years old, 20 years old, kind of about to go in the army. So like they took his fucking room, and I guess nothing ever happened. But shortly after that, within, I think it was 6 months, they ended up moving from, that was New Hampshire, down to Old Orchard Beach, where they had got a different house or whatever. So that fucking happened in Milton Mills, New Hampshire, which is where they grew up in. And it was a very old section of a farmhouse. So like it was just a piece of an old farmhouse that was still there. You know what I'm saying? The rest of the house was gone, like the big part of it. And it was just a small part, had like 2 or 3 bedrooms or whatever. But they always said it was a creepy old fucking house that was like original old floorboards with the big gaps, and like just like an old farmhouse would be, cold in the winter, all that shit. So like, and that I was like, as a kid, she would tell the story, and like, you when a kid, you're like, just you get tired of the fucking. You're like, all right, I fucking heard the story like 100 times, like Jesus. But now that I have this, I kind of think of it differently. You know what I mean? I think, oh, well, that's kind of an interesting story to fucking talk about. But yeah, so right now, usually we take a break for a smoke break. So if you got something to smoke, now's the time. Because I usually,
Facts, I've been smoking too.
yeah, I usually will smoke at this point, but I'm not doing dabs right now, so I'm not going to smoke anything. But yeah, smoke them if you got them. Time for the smoke break. Lucifer, if you're in the chat, I know you're ready for the smoke break. Yep.
Hey, Lucifer just came out of fucking nowhere.
Like he rolled up with 2 pre-rolls. Like, here you go. Fucking smoke break. So yeah, brought to you by Fire and 4 as usual. Shout out to them. You got your med card and you're in Maine, or you're from any other state that has med cards and you're in Maine, you can go there and get some fire weed from them. Yeah, I suggest doing that. But yeah, so why don't we, instead of smoke break, and we take a little time usually to do that and whatever, but why don't we play like a song? If there's like a song that you want me to play right now, whether it's old one that you've done or something new, let me know and I can pull it up. If it's out on Spotify or whatever, I can pull it up and play it.
True indeed. Actually, I just released. Well, my man Genius Black just released a track that I'm featured on with Shane Rise, and it's an amazing track. It was released on the anniversary of George
we heard
Floyd's
that.
death.
Yeah. We played it on the stream the other day, I think. Remember, Libsy was on stream. What show were we doing that day?
It was What's Beef.
What's Beef, right? So we played it on that, like as were we pitting it against something?
Yeah, we were.
Okay,
I forgot what though.
But yeah, what a dope fucking song, and it's called Head Down, right?
Head Down, yeah.
Yeah. I think that's not on Spotify though.
That's on Spotify.
Is it on Spotify?
That's out everywhere. Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, I was gonna say we played it off of SoundCloud.
Yeah, he gave me a SoundCloud link to fucking play it.
It's on Spotify. I have it on my playlist. Solo.
Okay, cool. I'm gonna go over there and check it out. Yeah, Head Down. I see it. He had given me like the private link or something to the SoundCloud, and I was like, oh, this is dope. This is like he gave me like the whole press release and everything to my email, which I thought was fucking awesome. All right, so you should be able to hear it. I'm gonna play it. Actually, gonna share it too so we can see it. Share screen. Boom. All right. So you should be able to see it now, right here. Boom. All right. So the song is called "Head Down." It's by Genius Black. Why don't you set it up? Who else is it featuring? Who else has he got in there?
This guy Shane Rise.
Yep.
My man Genius Black produced it. I believe that's Give me a minute, I don't want to misquote myself. Yes, Head Down, Genius Black featuring Tiny Foot, Drell, and Shane Rise, as well as me.
Yes.
That's Tiny Foot
Tiny
singing
Foot.
the hook, and
Yeah,
Drell
Tiny
has the
Foot,
first verse. Shane got the second verse, and I got the last verse.
Yep. I was gonna say I couldn't remember the guy's name either, but Tiny Foot. He's from Maine, right?
True indeed.
Yep. Okay. Cool. Yeah, I heard him. He doesn't typically do hip hop music. I don't think maybe.
Yeah,
I think he does a lot of
but
different genre music, but he's fucking super dope either way.
yeah. My man Genius Black is an amazing producer, and he asked me to get on that.
Yep.
And I had a lot of things going on, and I kept putting it off and kept putting it off, and I never wrote the verse. And I finally told him, I was like, "Listen, I'm real busy right now. Like, just please, just go ahead without me. Like, I don't want to hold you up, this and that or whatever." And he hit me back, and he was like, "Nah, man, I can't fuck with that. I can't."
No, we're waiting.
He's like, "I'm not accepting that." He's like, "Oh."
Yeah.
He's like, "Take the time you need." And I did, and I finally got to it and got the verse written, and I was really happy that he waited for me for the track, because it's a really an amazing track.
Yeah, it is.
Listen to it. There's a lot of things. There's a lot of real feeling and raw feelings that went into making this track for all of us. I think we all had.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, Head Down, Genius Black, Drell, Tiny Foot, Shane Rise, and Shameek The God. So let's get into it. Maybe it will play. Maybe. Okay. I'm gonna share it again, and this time I'll make sure share audio is clicked. Yep, it's definitely clicked. Share again. That's weird. All right, here we go.
Feel the revolution.
Head down, head down, head bow down, head down, head down, hands to the ground, head down, head down, head bow down, head down, head down. They say it's niggas killing niggas, never cops killing niggas. We try to speak, but they don't give a fuck about our feelings, cause it's drugs in my hood. Who supply the drug dealers? Just to run up in my house, guns out, put your hands up and steal it off around to then claim that I'm a killer. Nah, too many ounces of our blood is spilled, taken from our mothers. Every day it's growing numbers, but they love us still. What? See where I gotta deal with it. It's a burden, but they telling me I gotta live with it. I take pride in my skin, and I'm so instilled with it. Listen, it's like a target on my back, cause I'm black, and the way I wear my hat. Plus I got a couple tats. I'm a nigga, that's a fact. I can't change that shit, but now it comes a time where we ain't gonna take that shit. Nope. So see where they lead, I won't follow. You just gotta look around, but they still telling you to keep your head down, head down, head down, head down, head down, hands to the ground, head down, head down, head down, head down, head down, hands to the ground.
I'm the grandson of an immigrant. I see the thread is imminent. I can't play with these little minds. They ego on fictitious shit. They don't know what a statue mean, but they big mad when that statue leaning. We gon' burn it all to the ground, bro. Fuck what you believe in. It's all systematic. It's no equal right. Instant gratification for me to see this die. That way of life for the past dictates the way of life, but the past isn't transcripted correctly. Nah, they don't paint it right. The time is now, the time is now. Look at the army building. Look at this bright youth about to fight through and they're smartly moving. Man, I'd love to die. I'd love to die for this shit. My son is on the front line of this shit. This ain't no anonymous shit. You can add me. This is real life, no aesthetic. Black lives do matter. Yeah, I said it. You can fact check it. Man, the leader of this country is a clown, and now we see the circus. Let's drag him to the surface. Now I won't keep my
head down, head down, head down. Hands to the ground, head down, head down. Head down, head down. Hands to the ground.
Pop told me keep my head up, cause them pigs will never let up. The trap was just a setup and they wonder why we fed up. No matter what, I'm still a slave to the system. Underpaid, unforgiven, so they lock us in the prison. And that's a strike that you're never gonna get rid of. Paid your debt to society, but you're still a nigga. Take that F and find a job and a place to live. You in the race with the racists to try and raise your kids, so they don't fall into the same shitty pattern. Every day I'm getting madder as to watch the world fracture. Police brutality always been my reality. Now they screaming blue lives matter and wanna challenge me, but I ain't even trying to hear it. If they shot me, then you cheer it, and it's eating at my spirit. Why the fuck you wanna put me in a box? Say I'm guilty when I'm not, so I'm saying fuck the cops, man.
Head down, head down, head down, head down, head down. Hands to the ground, head down, head down. Head down, head down, head down. Hands to the ground.
I appreciate that, Lucifer.
Hands to the
So that shit is dope, right?
Fucking banger.
Right?
Jesus Christ.
Fucking guitars in there, just hitting just right. Word. I love how it changed up to when your verse came in and everything was different than the other verses, you know what I'm saying? And then it had like more room to breathe too when you came on. Yeah, it definitely was cool. Everybody's like section was a little different too with the beat and shit. So, yup, it was definitely fucking dope. Yeah. Oh, very dope. Hell yeah. So, moving on. Smoke break is wrapped up.
I mean, so did it ever stop or finish?
Well, no, but
no, I got it. No, I
didn't know we needed a break.
Yeah, I mean, it's always a break, really, but yeah, for specific, people forget sometimes if they're watching. When just remind, it's smoke break time. Everybody get your smoke break in. It's been an hour. It's time to smoke.
Word.
So yeah, usually we talk about new rap, old rap. So this is always a fun time. And we just kind of compare eras. Maybe we can compare artist versus artist, but that's really hard. Just honest, unbiased discussion. Compare image and culture versus now versus then. And so first off, we just want to clarify. I do this with everybody who comes on here, and it's just a simple fucking question. Live shows, over backing vocals or no? Go.
Wait a minute, what was that?
Rapping over backing vocals or no when you do live shows?
Rapping over backing vocals.
Yeah, like you got your vocals on, you're just out there rapping over the top of it. Yes,
that's absolutely ridiculous. That's a now cipher. We don't do those.
We don't
do those.
Nah. So that's what we try to say. The common theme is, we're not doing that.
So, but the thing is, I might have a few tracks where I have like my overdubs in like the chorus or something.
Oh, that's
like
fine.
Get me like for the hook.
We're not talking about,
but like I'm not like rapping over them. They're emphasizing what I'm saying already. You know, like it's different.
Yeah.
But like I would never rap over my own vocals. That's absolutely ridiculous. As a strategy for live performance, it like where is your lungs at? Like,
well, yeah, I mean, you're bringing it. You want to do the performance, and you want it to be.
I can't take you seriously if you do that.
You want to?
I can't take you seriously.
You want the people who are coming to see your shows, especially if they come and see your shows like more often. You know what I'm saying? They see more than one. They don't want to see the same shit. They don't want to hear the same exact song that they heard off the off the record, off Spotify or whatever, right?
You know
They
what I
want to hear
blame?
a new version of it, like a different live version of it. It should be like something that's unique almost every time that you perform it in a way. You know what I mean?
I
Well,
blame 8 Mile.
I don't
I
know.
blame 8 Mile for anybody rappers. I believe there's a lot of anybody rappers out there, and you know Obese just as well as I do. When we was coming up and we was young in the rap game, you could not get up there if you couldn't spit. But
No,
nowadays they let everybody spit. Everybody gets a trophy and a prize and all that
yeah,
shit.
yeah,
And
it is
I'm
like
not
that.
really with I'm not really with that part of it. Like
Yeah,
I feel like people should tell their man they're whack if they're making whack music, so they can either get better or stop doing it.
yeah, that's the thing that a lot of people don't do
You
these
know,
days.
like if somebody told me to shut the fuck up enough times, I would have stopped rapping by now. I would have thought I was some dog shit. You know, like
Yeah,
it would just like right three motherfuckers around me talking about you ain't shit. Don't
there's
nobody want to hear that shit. You know what I'm saying?
fucking come out that have me fucking scratching my head and wondering, what the fuck, how is that even possible? How did the person who's making this music get to a point where they're releasing projects and music videos and nobody is saying anything about what they're doing? It doesn't sound good. You know what I'm saying? And so that particular aspect of being and doing the things I do, especially here at Bars Over Bars and shit, I have to
Yeah,
play I have to play the nice game. You know what I'm saying? You can't always say what's right on the tip of your tongue, which is hard for me because a lot of times that's exactly how I am. However, I
same.
have to pull the positives out of things and then just kind of report on that. I'm like CNN, you know what I'm saying?
You
Like
know
I
what?
pull the positives out, report on that,
I,
smiling through the riots going on in the background.
I solved that problem by just not being around bullshit motherfuckers ever. Like
Yeah, yeah, it's easy.
I'm just
It's
not
easy.
around bullshit motherfuckers like that no more. Like unless it's like a work situation where I'm getting
Oh,
paid
yeah.
to deal with these bullshit ass motherfuckers. Like
Even that's like you get tired of that too.
yeah, true indeed. I'm working on not working
Yeah.
anymore.
But yeah, so that's something that we always ask, and usually the answers have always been consistently the same. Yeah, there might be parts of a song where you use some super special effects or flange or some weird shit on your vocals, like just to accentuate one part of the verse, and like we're not talking about that, or talking
Yeah.
about leaving your chorus part in that's got like some effects that really just widen it or something for your ad libs. Like no, but for the verses, for sure, if you got to have some like ad libs or backing vocals in it, have a motherfucker jump on and just be your hype man for your set. You see what I'm saying?
True.
I feel
True
like that
indeed.
is the art form that we should be discussing is hype, the hype man, right? Because like it's like a lost art or a dying art in some ways, and I feel like sometimes people use it, but like they're not serious about it as they used to be. Like I feel like
Nah.
having a good hype man. We got Busta Rhymes and Spliff Star. Like, I mean, come on, they're a
Mm.
classic combo, dude.
Chuck
Like,
D and Flavor Flav.
yeah, they
What the
don't do
fuck what no
shit.
one said. Flavor Flav was the illest hype man back in the day.
Oh
Fuck
my
if he was
god,
all cracked out of it.
yeah, they were just feeding him rocks, and he was like, "I'll go out of
he,
my way to be hype for you
he
guys."
was going, he was having a good time.
Yeah, and I just think that is a great way. And I always tell people when they come on, like, "Yo, do you have a hype man? If you don't, like, think about getting one because fucking a man." They go a long ways, I think, and I think that we should try to bring it back to how it was before. Maybe doing things like we used to do sometimes may help bring that shit in the because feel like the hip hop shit's kind of doing a boomerang right now. You know what I mean? Like we threw that shit out and it went out to this weird ass fucking place where Little Pump and fucking 6ix9ine was super popular, and
Right.
and it's kind of looping back around where more conscious rappers are coming out with like that new flow too, like they, but they're doing it on trap beats and this shit like that. And I feel like they're kind of, at least for a majority of these fucking new people that I see coming out, are
True
trying to
indeed.
be a little better at it. You know what I'm saying? So I
True
hope
indeed.
that in the next this renaissance era coming out of this fucking pandemic, right, Libsy, where all this people are gonna be making all
Fucking
this.
A.
I really hope that they take it in that direction where they're making it better and not continuing on that fucking trend where it was just turning into shit. Like it was just crazy what the fuck people had been doing or still somewhat trying to do. And I think that that's a product of the environment too. Like
I
we
mean,
talked about
shit.
that before.
I was gonna say shit. I'm holding this conversation with you guys right now, and I'm actually making beats. on another tab.
Yep. Yep.
Word.
So like that's what I'm saying. Like fucking things are a whole different vibe these days than they were back then. However, I feel like a lot of these new up and coming people, like Hero's one of them, like they go and they study everything like from the past. They don't just go from when they were born or when they started listening to rap onward. They're actually going back because now there is a history that's pretty deep there, for people to get into. When before it was a history, but it wasn't that much. Like we got into it, it was like 10, 15 years before the hip hop was like started. You know what I'm saying? Now it's like mad years. You know what I'm saying? Um, yeah, so for me personally, whatever, don't rap on your over your vocals or anything like that. There's really no
Wholeheartedly agree.
unless if you're like a huge act and there's like this live performance that's going to be millions of people. I know sometimes they'll do that, and I don't give a shit because honestly, who the fuck gives a shit when your shit is that huge and you're doing like this huge fucking outdoor venue? Like the sound is going to be horrible no matter where you're at. Like you could be screaming, people in the back are just going to hear mama, it's like reverb and fucking different all kinds of shit. So like whatever. If you're Cardi B and you're up there singing over the top of your shit for an award show or some fucking weird halftime shit, whatever. I'm not gonna scream at you for that. But if you're the same person and you're in a venue that's holding like 1,000 people, like you don't need backing vocals. No way.
True.
You know what I'm saying? But yeah, none of us that have come on the show is really doing shows for 20 or 30 or 40,000. How many ever fucking people? So don't rap over your backing your vocals. End of discussion. No, but yeah, there's like not many rappers that are new school that I fuck with. J. Cole, Kendrick, Joyner Lucas,
I like JID. I
and
think JID a
oh yeah,
beast.
Yeah, he's a fucking monster.
yeah,
I
super
really
dope.
do.
And a few newer guys like Murray. I don't know if you heard of Murray and shit, but he's pretty dope. But for
I
the
like
most,
Griselda. I fuck with Griselda.
yep, their
Mm.
is good. Yeah,
All that shit.
yep. But for the most part, I feel like we do have some decent artists that are out these days that are trying to do shit, and it's not like in 2015 I was kind of hopeless and thinking like shit was gonna go. But I've discovered new artists that are kind of keeping the hip hop mindset alive and not trying to just make it like a plasticky fucking Versace culture, right? You know what I mean?
Fucking
Agreed.
gross.
Right. So I like that we have artists that are out there keeping hip hop alive. So, but yeah, what would you say if like someone was like, "Yo, um, give me a project that best describes." I know that you only have a couple in the Shameek, but I know you did stuff before. If there was a song in particular or a project that you could just say was your favorite, what would you say that was?
Out of my projects,
Yeah, and like everything that you've done, if it's something that wasn't like it was prior to being Shameek the God, you know what I'm saying? If there was something that really just stands out to you to this day, even if it was your most recent track, whatever it is, if you had to pick something and someone's like, just give me one that's gonna fucking be, gonna describe you and gonna give me the best, description of what you're doing
uh,
for music, your style and everything.
I don't know. That's kind of a hard question to answer. I feel like there's all kinds of aspects to that question, and like different songs might fit different aspects of that question. Like,
Mhm.
um, if you want to know what my favorite track right now is that I've done,
Yeah,
um, man, that's hard. Um, recently it was Assembly.
yeah,
Recently it was Assembly. Um, my first album. It's really hard to say. Um, I just, like overall, like I don't listen to that anymore. It's been a
Really?
minute since I've listened to my first album. Yeah.
Yeah,
It got played out. I wasn't performing it. I was
yeah, yeah,
listening. I was remember like the vocals and shit. I got so tired of the album. I couldn't listen to it anymore. Um,
yeah.
I think my favorite track off of that would have to be Peace God. After all the time. I also did a track with my man Hayes, who's on his grind right now. He's about to put out some shit soon, I believe. You actually listen to the show right now, but I did a track with him called "Business as Usual," which is definitely one of my
Yep.
favorites off of it. off my
Yeah,
first album.
definitely dope.
Big shout outs
Um,
to Hayes.
so yeah, we kind of touched on the creation process too for those particular projects. That Sleeping Giant was recorded at my house. Um,
Yeah. Sleeping
and
Giant, like that came, I gotta be honest, that came out of nowhere. Cause you hit me up and I was like slowly working on shit. But I had like, I wasn't happy with the production. I was happy with some of it because my man Genius Black and I produced some shit that I've had that I have ready.
yeah,
Um and he's done a lot of production for me. But like besides that, I had random beats kicking around and I wasn't doing anything with them. For me, the beats really got to inspire me.
yeah,
And I mean that's why I like working with you because like I feel like you get my style and like you throw the beats at me that I'm gonna like already. You
yeah,
already know. You already know. You hear the beat and you're like, okay.
yeah. Or I make the beat, and right after a while, I'm making them like I'm picking who it can be for. I'm pretty good with that usually. Some artists are hard to judge, especially when you go and you listen to what they've done, and they don't want to do that anymore. They're trying to do something different, and you're like, all you know is like what they've done, and that's not what they're trying to do. That's hard, you know what I'm saying? But other than that, I feel like if I have heard the artist before, I can pretty much pick out something that they'd be good on, or I think that they would work on. Sometimes I miss on that, like and I do that kind of on purpose in a way. Like I know like what is gonna work for somebody, but then I'll throw something in loop that's like a
I
little,
love those curveballs though. Sometimes I'll hear something and it'll be completely off. Some shit you would never expect me to do, and I'm like, I
yeah.
kind of like that. Let me fuck with that. Like,
Yeah, and that's why I do it too sometimes, maybe just to get somebody out of the comfort zone or whatever and just see what
Right.
they would be interested in doing. But for the most part, I hit people with what I think I know they're going to pick because I don't want them to have to spend all their time like going through shit that they don't like. They click it, they listen 5-10 seconds, like, I don't know, move on to the next one. I want them to hear like the first one and be like, yeah, this is it, like right off the bat. Makes it easier, you know?
True indeed.
Um, yeah, so let's let's kind of shift gears and talk about um, if there was any. You said for that first album you did a lot of shows for that, like to do a lot of performing for that particular album, right?
Yeah,
Uh,
true indeed.
what during that time frame of performing, what could you pull out of that for positives versus negatives? Because dealing with that industry and like we were talking about earlier, being paid versus not being paid, and dealing with different promoters and shit. Like, what are some of the things that if you had to give some advice to artists that are trying to like fucking put a lot of performances together, what are the good and bad things you had to experience in there, and what do you think you could fucking say to people that are trying to do that?
I'll come out and say this right off. Pr- Promoters do not treat hip hop artists like they're musicians or like
Mm,
they're.
Oh, promoters are scum, dude.
And I think, well, the thing, it's not all promoters though. I think
Fair.
the problem is rappers are a commodity because there's anybody rappers. Before
Mm,
you couldn't get on stage if you couldn't rap.
yep.
You
you
know
got that.
that kept the herd fucking thin. You didn't get on stage at the specific venues. You not getting play there if you're not good. Now the fact that everybody can rap and everybody thinks they're good, promoters have flipped it up and like I've got a million rappers over here that want to get on my show. I can charge them.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
why some fuckboy promoter has like the audacity to like come at me and be like, I can screw him over. I just did this sold out show and I'm gonna try not to, like that's some bullshit. Like you getting money off the door, I want to cut. And like most of like at this point, like I'm not even trying to go out for shows like that for
Yeah,
real. Like I used to love it, but it's work. And I feel like promoters don't respect that hip hop artists and the work they put into making those performances work and making them high energy like they are and all the shit that like we put out a
yeah,
lot. Um that being said, I know people of other genres that have an everyday booking at a club and get paid every night. You know what I'm saying? It's not a
right.
problem. Like, and because of that, like, I would just say, like, make sure you have your ducks in a row before you even walk into a venue.
Yeah. Um,
I mean, and again, they can get a million other rappers to do it. And thus we go back around in the circle. You see this?
Yeah, exactly. So there's usually a group in every fucking I don't know if I'd say state. I guess I'd just say state. Every state's gonna have their group of hip hop, um, show promoters that are straight up just maliciously fucking charging people. Like I'm not want to mention any names either, but there's a fest that happens here in the state of Maine that happens pretty much every year, and they say, hey, we got a submission process or whatever, right? So I tested out the submission process by having a bunch of people I know submit songs, some that were actually one or two that were just recorded as a fucking joke. That if you really listen past the fucking first 10 seconds of the song, you'll hear that it's all a joke, right?
Oh man.
We sent it in, and they sent an email back saying, you've been accepted, and it's going to be $300.
Yeah, it's one of those things where everybody gets accepted.
Right, it's going to be
You
$300.
get staged for 2 minutes, you get one song.
Well, everybody gets accepted, right? But here's the thing: is they send that out, and not everybody's got $300. Plus, they have to buy tickets too to sell, right? So, like, there was $300 just to get you on the venue, and that's basically what they reach out for. They hit everybody back, and whoever bites on the 300 is who they get. Not everybody's doing it, so like they organize their list that way rather than looking at the talent and who's most talented and deserving of a spot and going that way. And I think what happens is you end up with shit shows for fucking shows. You know what I'm saying? Like you end up with shit shows. That's all. People who are like junk fucking rappers and like have no following and this and that. They're there and they're not really contributing anything to the venue or the concert or anything. They're just there because they paid the money, and that becomes a fucking huge issue. As far as putting on a quality show, yeah, they take that money that they're earning from those rappers who are just trying to come up and are like, gullible and buying this fucking time, and they turn around and they pay their headliners $2,000-$4,000 to come do the fucking show. Where when the other artists aren't getting a goddamn dime, sell some tickets and then you can sell your merch. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Or you can deal with the show promoter that I've dealt with before, where he'll book like 20 to 25 people on stream. 20 to 25 people for a show, and then the headliner is at like 11:30, and then there's 7 people still performing after him. Like that's not the fucking headliner.
That's not good at all. Yeah,
Fucking
headliners, they
terrible.
get paid the big bucks to be there. They need to be at the end of the show. You need to wrap it up after that.
Exactly.
But yeah, I think Shameek's dealing with something over there right now. It looked like a cat fight was going on in the background. Shit was getting raw and dirty.
Oops.
So, so I think we're
I know
just
that feeling.
to come. But yeah, you know the feeling. I have animals, but they're not really fighting right now. So, yeah. So did you figure that out? The cats are fighting.
Yeah. No, I got up to get some beer. I was a bit parched.
Okay. I was gonna say cats are fighting. I don't know if they're fucking throwing down or something over there.
You seen that?
Yeah.
Yo, my cats are crazy. I got this one cat named Baggy that just attacks the dog, the other 2 cats. Like he just runs the house. He's in charge.
Shout out Lucifer yet again. Mainstream hip hop today is garbage. That's why I love these shows. It's real music, real artists. That's
Big facts.
Lucifer. You just created a slogan. I'm pretty sure. It's real music, real artists. Bars over bars. I love it. I'm gonna roll with it.
Facts over facts.
Yeah, we're gonna definitely keep that rolling. But I wanted to give you a little bit of time here. We'll probably end up wrapping up a little early, but I do want to give you some time to give any final shouts, plugs, anything like that for things that you find near and dear or whatever. If there's anything that you want to, anybody or anything that you want to shout out, feel free to do that right now. And then we're going to get into playing a few songs, I think, or whatever.
Okay, word. Shout out to Genius Black and everybody that got down with that track. Shout out to all my followers. I've actually recently been banned from Facebook for about 2 months.
Yeah, I've been down that road before.
They don't want me posting anymore.
Yeah, yeah. I've had to deal with that a few fucking times myself. So
I got into
it's
some
hard when
shit.
you do shit like this and you have to have access to your Facebook pages and shit. And you can
Yeah, and I
block.
could,
Last time
I couldn't even like let people know that I'd be on the podcast. So if you seeing this, I would have let you know otherwise. Had I
Yeah,
not been banned.
but the good thing about it is you can always tune in after the fact and watch it all the way through whenever, because it'll be up on Bars Over Bars, Facebook, YouTube's, Twitch, and my Facebook, YouTube, podcast. So whenever you get unbanned from there, you can also share it again then too, and be like, check this out, I did this back when Zuckerberg had me banned. But yeah, no,
Fuckerberg. Fuck Fuckerberg, man.
yeah, I always say I tell people to watch this show on YouTube, even though we're streaming on Facebook, because YouTube will Facebook will like shut our stream or mute our streams out when we play music sometimes, even if it's our music. Like it would be my music, and literally one time I was playing my fucking beat and it beeped out, it muted out my beat tag. It muted out the beat tag because it was
Okay.
like, yeah, it was recognizing that it was a copywritten thing from one of my albums. Like I was like, what the hell, And so that to me is ridiculous. But on YouTube, it wasn't blocked out. So I always send people to YouTube. I say, fuck Facebook, whatever. Yeah, we still stream there, but I prefer to watch on YouTube where you can see the whole thing. And it's usually if they put a claim on it, like they put a claim on it and then they don't block it like from being played. It's just a claim, and they get paid if you run ads. I don't know why Facebook can't figure that out, but it's probably because
Because Mark Zuckerberg's fucking retarded.
Yeah, Mark Zuckerberg, exactly.
Fuckerberg.
So I want to ask you. I already know probably what at least one of the answers will be, but if we want to play a few songs from you, what songs do you think we should play?
Since my man Hayes is listening, I would love to play Business as Usual. That's something
Okay.
I ain't heard in a minute. It was a long time ago. What else? Definitely Assembly.
Yeah, I already. That's what I was gonna say. I already know that one.
Yeah, I like Assembly a lot. And
All right, so let's start with Business as Usual. We'll play it,
where
and and then we'll come back and discuss a little bit, and then we'll move to the next one. But yeah, let's get into it. So, Business as Usual. You want to set it up? It was on what album so they can find it on Spotify? I'm gonna share it here in a second. Give me a second. That's what I'm trying to do right now.
Okay.
Here we go.
God
All
Complex.
Right. Yes. So, Business as Usual off of God Complex, which is you can easily find on Spotify, all streaming platforms. I just prefer Spotify, but yeah. Let's get into it. It's featuring Hayes.
Yeah. Hey yo, it's business as usual. I'm back in the streets, and it's beautiful. I'm back on the beats. Miss doing this here. It's a passion for me. Plus I do it so naturally. Back to the basics, righteous man, master of masons. Trapped in the basement for ages with immaculate patience. So full of passion and hatred, you think it's Baphomet Satan. Coming with the mask of Jason at a blasphemous nation. Remember back in the days when it was writing and backpacking. Turn the page, now it's fighting and gat clapping and biking. And that's tragic, addiction was spinning me out position. So I hit the kitchen, ended up in prison. A tough decision, but it sharpened up my vision. I wasn't counting days, I was chalking up my wisdom. More from crucifixion, got knowledge of self. So I spar with Jews and Christians, and my dominance felt. Pardon me, eat y'all dudes like God degree. Smooth when I move, so I'm hard to see. Come walk with me, son, I bring light to the mind. Right and design, truly God cipher divine. Hey yo, it's business as usual, I'm back in the streets. And it's beautiful, I'm back on the beats. Miss doing this here, it's a passion for me. Plus I do it so naturally. Hey yo, it's business as usual, I'm back in the streets. And it's beautiful, I'm back on the beats. Miss doing this here, it's a passion for me. Plus I do it so naturally.
All aboard. Hey yo, we taking a trip. Damn, memory lane and I'ma chauffeur the whip. I can remember when the rap game was potent as shit. And motherfuckers wasn't acting like they supposed to be rich. But for the art form, they showed up to the community. Writing plans down on the pad like a eulogy. Yeah, it's kinda sad, but I'm mad at the newer breeds and you degree. They must have skipped class, that's truancy. True indeed. I'm just speaking my mind while trying to find time to scrape these nickels and dimes. 9 to 5 ain't getting by, so I'm looking for jobs. Keeping my eyes on the prize like it's a woman with eyes. Nah, I'm just playing, I'm just saying I'm focused. Word to Heavy D, my pedigree is the coldest. Step ahead of me where your step wouldn't be noticed. I'm a shark in dark waters and you a goldfish. You better get ready, hold steady for the jaw dropper. You short stoppers ain't mess around with the chart topper. Top paw boxer, no, not at all a mobster. This is business as usual, I need all the pasta.
Oh yeah, hold on, you're muted. Let me unmute you. All right, yeah.
Oh man.
Hadn't heard it in a while, huh? Who made the beat? Was it
Business as usual. I believe that was Jay Humble. Yeah, Jay Humble produced that one.
I was gonna say I thought it was him or either him or Mike B. But
Nah, Jay Humble produced that. Jay Humble.
yeah,
Big shout outs to Jay Humble. I fuck with him.
yeah, she was
Amazing
dope.
producer locally as well. But yeah, like I said, that was the first track I recorded. And Hayes ended up being the first person I did a track with. That shit was dope.
Yeah, Blueser says, "Oh shit, check out the flow." Oh, you ain't know?
I can fly. I can flow a little bit.
These motherfuckers in the pocket like 8 balls.
Hey.
All right, so yeah, we definitely want to play Assembly. Because I mean, I had a little part in making that happen.
Shit, that was I feel like it's an amazing album overall. Like,
yeah, it is.
The Sleeping Giants album. Like, there's no filler in it. You know, like, every track has meaning. You know, every track. I don't know.
Hell yeah.
Maybe that's just me.
No, I love the whole fucking project, man. So, you know, I've done a few projects over the years. I had one that I did, a lunar landing that came out recently, that I really like. But still, I mean, this one stands out to me. It was so hands on for me too. Like with a lunar landing, I just sent him the beats and he recorded it wherever he recorded it at. It didn't have anything really to do with me. I never even got anything sent to me, matter of fact, like before it was even released. So I was like, oh, okay, cool. Well, I'll hear it when it comes out. But yeah, so I mean, for me, having the hands-on thing really helped kind of like me mold the sound and everything by mixing it how I kind of knew I wanted it to sound. You know what I'm saying? Where some of the stuff that he did, I would have maybe mixed some things a little bit differently, but that's how he wanted to sound. So that's what's up. But as far as projects I've done with other people, it definitely is probably the top one that I've done that I've produced, like, you know what I mean, a whole project for somebody that I can't wait to get the second one going. I feel like once it gets going, like the last time,
that momentum,
right?
I got some projects I got to finish before I can really focus in on it. But
yeah,
I'm working on it.
So yeah, Assembly. Let's get into that track. That's produced by me.
Baby, while I'm here, they won't love me until I'm gone. I keep them in fear, but they keep on riding my balls. I be on display, but they keep on prying for flaws. I be in my lane while they keep on trying to cross. Baby, while I'm here, they won't love me until I'm gone. I keep them in fear, but they keep on riding my balls. I be on display, but they keep on prying for flaws. I be in my lane while they keep on trying to cross. I be on my grind while they keep on trying to floss. I be out my mind while they keep on trying to boss. I be shining shining bright as the stars. I am the source, levitating while igniting the force. My inner voice, I'm alive as fuck and I never thought I would still be. From all the wild stuff that life brought about to kill me. People I was chilling with, really, they did me filthy. Ended up in a facility, really, cause I was guilty. But I'm done with all that whack shit. I was living backwards for that dough under the mattress that put your ass in a casket. Mastered all my hazardous habits, back on my axis. Now I'm out the madness, crafting my actions to fit my passion. You want that dumb shit, stay the fuck from my circumference. People always wanting something for nothing and talking rubbish, yeah. It ain't my fault you murdered your budget. Now give me my fucking cut for a nigga resort to cutting. Hate me while I'm here, they won't love me until I'm gone. I keep them in fear, but they keep on riding my balls. I be on display, but they keep on prying for flaws. I be in my lane while they keep on trying to cross. Hate me while I'm here, they won't love me until I'm gone. I keep them in fear, but they keep on riding my balls. I be on display, but they keep on prying for flaws. I be in my lane while they keep on trying to cross.
Yeah, I'm a fucking weirdo, I'm awkward, angry, and anxious, often misunderstood, unfiltered, and losing patience. I'm stressed, fucking depressed, no cigarettes got me pacing. Just means that me and you are in similar situations. Like when you've been trying your hardest and you're still failing regardless. When someone's thinking they're smart or home even where the heart is sinking. You came so far till they're questioning who you are. Like, what is it all for and why do I even bother? I do battle by myself, don't need you, don't need no one else to remind me, no rewind, I steer my ship, don't need no help. And if this shit ain't working out, you're so quick to point it out. I used to think we were the same, now all you do is cast your doubt. Try to shame and run your mouth, placing blame on others while you run your game 100 miles. Stay in your lane, I know your style, don't come close to me. Too concerned with me, you're not supposed to be trying your hardest, never getting the best or the most of me.
Hate me while I'm here, they won't love me until I'm gone. I keep them in fear, but they keep on riding my balls. I be on display, but they keep on prying for flaws. I be in my lane while they keep on trying to cross. Hate me while I'm here, they won't love me until I'm gone. I keep them in fear, but they keep on riding my balls. I be on display, but they keep on prying for flaws. I be in my lane while they keep on trying to cross. I be on some bullshit, approach the mic like a poker, just pulverizing opponents with a beat to a pope. Shit assaulted if I'm insulted, assaulting no means a suntan, assuming victory, shocker like wrong and prosper like Vulcans. I'm obviously why I oughta don't act like you fucking know me. I don't care what gangsta shit you be talking, you gotta show me. I'm an OG, only associated with the realest. I've orchestrated with killers, will fornicate with your feelings. I correlate with what's chilling and inordinate in the building. No coordinates, of course, that's sick like trafficking children. No Captain Hillary Clinton, no Captain snapping like Jeffrey Epstein. Selfie hashtags hanging up by the ceiling. I'm next up to do what has never ever been done. If I'm better than the best, I guess I'm the negative one. I'll bet that probably made about as much sense as President Trump, but I don't really give a fuck. I'm a semi-celibate monk. Hate me while I'm here, they won't love me until I'm gone. I keep them in fear, but they keep on riding my balls. I be on display, but they keep on prying for flaws. I be in my lane while they keep on trying to cross. Hate me while I'm here, they won't love me until I'm gone. I keep them in fear, but they keep on riding my balls. I be on display, but they keep on prying for flaws. I be in my lane while they keep on trying to cross.
That shit was dope.
Yeah, it was so dope. We lost Shameek on the fucking stream. Yeah, so I made that beat, you know, and, that actually featured I know Sin the Shaman, and I just fucking sound quality. Sin the Shaman and sound quality. I was gonna call him Bobby because that's just like what I call him, but it's sound quality. So, but yeah, so that came out dope, and I love that whole fucking project is dope. Matter of fact, I want to play Super Villain is one that I really like from that shit too. Then I've played Sleeping on Me on these streams, maybe not this one in particular, but I know I've played Sleeping on Me at least fucking like 3 or 4 times on streams of barsoverbars because I love that song too. But yeah, because you know, fucking OD just went off on that with like fucking 28 or whatever, how many of the bars he spit on that. And he's like, "Can you extend the beat?" I'm just like, "Yeah." But yeah, he's always wilding out, dude, on fucking every track he gets on, pretty much.
He do that shit to me all the time.
Yeah.
OD like the Bandit. I'll be like, give me 16 bars. He'll give me fucking 36
Yeah,
every
like,
time.
Was that
He's good. He's good for that, but I respect it.
Was that 16? That's what he said to me. When
You heard it. I was like, what you mean you spit 32 bars? He's like, it's not 16.
Yeah, exactly. He's just like, what?
All right, OD.
But yeah, so I want to play Supervillain because for me, like, I think that was one of the first ones that you ended up doing, and it really kind of set the tone for fucking everything that kind of came after that shit, because that fucking Supervillain track was just the vision on that too. It just had a whole vibe, dude, the whole way that it came together too. So let's just play it so everybody can hear it. Supervillain. Again,
Right.
This is off the project Sleeping Giant, which is produced all by me. So
Sure
yeah, I made
did.
a motherfucking beat.
Yeah. I look down upon no one unless I'm on my pedestal, the Battlestar Shogun. Yeah, had you beheaded, but it's no fun. Too many trying tests, I had to show one. Look, make an example out your back with ass. The bastard swore clapper, come back with the wrath of Ratchet Blast. Who's he? Bruce Lee with the loose leaf. I bruise beats, abuse geeks who use fleek. Your favorite local rapper's favorite local rapper, cloaked in black, holding the soul effects and the golden trapper. Or a dad, or I'm deep with all the masters. You people are sheep or you're sleeping on the pastures. Poor city, shitty supervillain. Shit get gritty pretty quickly, bring the blicky out the building. Yeah, I get defensive when I'm illin', so pay attention, the fucking God's building. Shameek.
Poor city, shitty supervillain. Poor city, shitty supervillain. Poor city, shitty supervillain. Shit get gritty pretty quickly, bring the blicky out the building. Poor city, shitty supervillain. Poor city, shitty supervillain. Poor city, shitty supervillain. Shit get gritty pretty quickly, bring the blicky out the building.
Dirty like scurvy, I'm pervy like Ron Jeremy. No need to hurry, don't worry, I slung perfectly. Sticking the bird on the bourbon, the fucking nerve of him swerving it through the burbs and then burping the fucking squirtery. Yeah, man, I don't know what's wrong with them. Dudes acting like they kings but ain't got no pawns with them. The wrong system inflict them, they fall victim to all isms. Hopping over the politicians, I've been at it since I had it. Combating shit automatically, inadequate, the habit is tragic. My moral faculties are average, I'm a savage. Ravage my own mortality. Your maggots with the magic inhabit my own reality. They wanna battle me badly, but I ain't having it. Sword sharp enough to pull back and snatch your cabbage with. Asshole, so I'm actively acting asinine. Absent-minded master, my habits to find the math divine.
Poor city, shitty supervillain. Poor city, shitty supervillain. Poor city, shitty supervillain. Shit get gritty pretty quickly, bring the blicky out the building. Poor city, shitty supervillain. Poor city, shitty supervillain. Poor city, shitty supervillain. Shit get gritty pretty quickly, bring the blicky out the building.
I've been loyal to a fault, so I guess it's my own fault. They assault my character, throw shade and insults, don't be mad at me. I'm a product of your environment, try to demonize me, but only after retirement. You need a bad guy like me. You tried it but couldn't hold it straight. The Dr. Doom in any room, shit showing you how to orchestrate. I occupied the throne, I burned it down and sent him home. I was born for this. You didn't think that I could rule the roost alone? Cowards stick together and turn heel in shitty weather. Yeah, shocker. Every time there's a shit storm, you're at the center. Already dressed for winter. Wanted so badly to be a winner that you forgot your graces, only to expose your two faces. Whatever the case is, I'm a pinky and the brain this shit. You want the title for yourself so bad, come and take the shit. And I'll be waiting with Shameek to settle the score. Ready for war, they said sin. They don't make them like you no more.
Poor city, shitty supervillain. Poor city, shitty supervillain. Poor city, shitty supervillain. Shit get gritty pretty quickly, bring the blicky out the building. Poor city, shitty supervillain. Or city shitty supervillain. Or city shitty supervillain. Shit get pretty quickly. Bring the blicky out the building.
Oh yeah, fire, fire, fire. That was
Dude, that flow was gritty as fuck. I fucked with that.
Ooh, I'm glad you like it.
and
That
that
was
was
dope.
Sin the Shaman on that one as well.
Oh, true indeed.
Who was on the other one as well. So classic. If you're from around my way, like a lot of people who listen to main hip hop anytime in the 2000s pretty much knows who Sin the Shaman is.
Oh
He was
shit.
part of a group or two where he was with some other fellow MCs and producers and shit over the course of the years that he's always dropping fucking dope music. So he still making music, or is he kind of pretty much done at this point?
So, I mean, he's got a lot going on. He just had another baby,
Yeah,
and you know he's got that, and he's trying to work and keep things up. I know that Trails on the low has an album
yeah,
that they haven't released, and I've heard the whole thing, and it's absolute fire. I wish the Lynn would drop that shit
right.
because,
Put it out.
like, like they worked on this project. I think honestly, I love the project like front to back. I've heard the whole thing, and I
Yeah,
feel like the public needs to hear it because people love Trails. Trails are like legends around here, right?
yeah,
Trails and the Yeti, with Dre Senior, like that, they legends out here. Like,
yeah.
I
That's what
don't
I was
know.
trying to say. Like, if you're out from my way, you kind of know if you follow anything about main hip hop. Even Shameek, a lot of people know who he is too. When you're around for a while, you fucking people know who you're at, especially when you're putting out dope shit. And yeah, Lucifer, I'm off the concentrate, bro. So this is Mendo Breath Flowers, if you're wondering.
I love how Lucifer was like Libsy looking evil as fuck right now. Yeah, because I had my producer face on.
So yeah, Mendo Breath, I'm fucking with that, and I got a bunch of pre rolls. Mendo Breath, peanut butter and jealous, I think is what I was showing. Peanut butter and jealous. I don't know.
I can't wait till you swing down with them concentrates for me.
Yeah, yeah, I got that too.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, man.
don't leave me out the loop, goddamn it.
Smoke. Oh, that's all. I can't smoke the motherfuckers.
If you looping down, loop this way, goddamn it. Shit.
Well, you know, you need to come down and fucking get down with some shit. Like you got video.
Down where?
I don't
I
know.
thought you was up.
I am, but like, you gotta go
I
down.
thought you was up. You talk about come down.
You
Come
gotta,
down where?
you know what I'm saying? Like we gotta go somewhere else. Like and get some shots. Like, I'm all about going to places I've never been to get the shots. Like I got a video shoot
Nah,
up in Portsmouth.
I got
Mm.
I got look, I have a mini farm and a business. I'm never gonna be able to leave my house for any extended period of time anytime soon until I'm able to hire somebody. So like I'm saying, come through.
Yeah, we're
Come
about to
check the
fucking
spot
have a.
out.
We're about to have a fucking. We're about to throw a festival out of your place.
You know what? I thought about it.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna lie. I thought about it.
that
Come
would be
check it
good.
out. Come check it out.
Yeah,
You
hell yeah.
know, I'm actually working a lot right now, but like I'm working on not working at the same
That would be
time.
nice. That
We'll
would be
see.
nice. If we could fucking all just not work and just do music all the time,
That's the goal.
I mean, yeah,
that would be sick.
that would be
But
dope,
yeah,
wouldn't it?
unless if you got any final shout outs or whatever, then let us hear that. But other than that, I think we're good, man.
I mean, shout out to everybody that tuned in tonight and is listening. Most of all, big shout outs. Um, yeah, that's it. I love y'all. Thanks for listening to my bullshit.
Hell yeah.
I took up 2 hours of your life that you'll never get back again. And I mean, however you feel about that, I did that. I did that with my mind. I got y'all to tune in and listen to my dumb ass for 2 hours. So here we are.
Hell yeah.
Hey, well, I got you guys here. Care if I get your opinion on one of the beats I made?
Oh,
Yeah,
why not?
While we were all sitting here chilling, shooting the shit.
Okay.
Fucking ba. Share audio. Bang.
Yeah.
So yeah, whip this up. Whip this up while we were chilling, talking. One of the two beats because I made two beats, but actually, let me play the other one. I like the other one better. Bang. Nothing crazy. Something pretty simple.
Fucking drill beat.
So yeah, nothing crazy.
You know what that would sound like in the truck, right?
Oh, it goes stupid.
That shit bangs.
So now that I showed you that one, I'll show you this one. I feel more
That shit
comfortable
bangs. I like that.
now. Well, get ready. I hope you like this one. Instead of making you listen to the whole beat, I'm gonna fast forward to the part I like a lot. Just drops back into the hook so nicely. So yeah, I whipped that up while I was.
Think about a fucking tsunami wave right there.
That's definitely interesting. I liked the way it fit together. I love the bass. I kind of like the drums. With the really high pitch sound.
Yeah.
It was. I liked it. It just wasn't for me.
Fair enough.
If I was being honest, that's what would turn me off from the beat personally. But I know other people that would like go bananas for that beat and totally
right?
destroy it.
Because it, truthfully, hearing that, it's a flute sample, but it reminds me of like horns you'd hear on like an older like '90s track, but on like flipped onto a newer trap beat. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I almost hear like a what's it called?
Oh.
Oh shit. We lost the motherfucker. I'm trying to eat some food. I'm like, hey. Yo. Play that first beat again.
Got you. Give me that 2 seconds.
I want to hear that again real quick.
Got you. Beat boot.
Because yeah, I mean, I like that first one a lot.
Hey,
I don't hear it.
all I can hear is that on the mic.
Oh, my dumb ass. I forgot to fucking share the screen.
Yeah.
Such a
Like,
fucking burnout.
Vibing. Yeah. I hear the motherfucking
What's up?
I hear the little beep boop in there, dude.
Yo, honestly, originally I named the beat Prophecy just because I was sitting here on the Prophecy podcast. And then I was like, nah, let me just change it to like some random shit like beat boop. Because I always hear Hero saying like beat boop about random shit. So I was like, fuck it, beat boop. And now that you mention it, I do hear the beat boop.
Yeah. It's almost like the beep we hear in Restream.
Yeah.
Me going crazy. That's why I wanted to hear it again. I thought it was just me last time. I'm like, what? No, it's there. It makes sense. Alright, so just send this. Just send this over. Let me kill that.
No, I'm thinking about using it for the album.
That's dope.
Might fuck around, fuck with some things here and there. Give myself a base to work on.
Yeah, I definitely got to put a little something in there.
Yeah.
Like a little twist up or whatever, but rope, nope.
Actually, fucking, I do have something off the album that I can let you peep real quick if you're interested in peeping.
Word.
I sent this. I sent this beat to somebody else, and they were like, and they didn't. Well, I sent this beat as well as 2 other beats to somebody, and they picked one of the other beats, not this one. And I was like, word, I fuck with this beat heavy, so I wanted to rap on it anyway. After I'd sent it, I was like, damn, I wish I didn't send that. So I'm glad he didn't pick it.
This is a Wushi Gang production.
Kind of person, boy, I've changed a lot throughout the years. Forgot the OG version. I've been grinding since Brooklyn. I'm working. Now I hop up on these beats and I'm cursing, lurking, hurting. Anybody who go test me, cryptid like Nessie, skating through this wave like Gretzky on a jet ski. The recipe shaking like they got epilepsy. These rappers on edge, boy, they seem a little testy. No balls, running through the game, homie, no falls. If I need it, then I got it. I just make a couple phone calls. Slow walls into the party, boy, no stalls. These rappers talking crazy, but all of that statements so false. I'm a big deal, spinning on a big wheel. Mob deep in the 508, I'm looking for that mass appeal. Pass the steel, boy, I'm looking for a cap to peel. Eating up these motherfucking rappers like a Happy Meal. Snap back to reality, I'm fucking up your gravity. Actually, I'm here to fuck the world up, cause some agony. If your Twitter fingers go off, then you better be fucking tagging me. A god in my own right, everyone else is blasphemy. Real talk, conversate with a savior, cause I can teach you how to hustle, getting paid from your labor. I'm talking income over income, so your paper don't taper. Build a business, connections, maybe calling a favor. Now that's free game, but it's free retro. I remember clowning junkies getting blunt at the petrol. This that 16-bit spit, old school Nintendo. Zelda gonna link if we gon' Hyrule off Mendo. Breath of the wild child, fire like the dragon. Got intoxicating bars and y'all are falling off the wagon. Don't be slacking, they be tracking all the codes that I've been cracking. The game ain't safe in this vault door, I'm blasting.
yeah, that's track number. I have no fucking idea off the album.
That shit was dirty.
Appreciate it.
That shit was dirty. I like that.
Appreciate it, dude.
So
I'm pretty hyped on this album.
I'm looking forward to hearing the rest of it.
Well, I got the first single dropping on June 18th. Obese shot the video for it, actually.
yeah, it's fucking dope. Once we end this, I'll show it to you.
Okay.
Hell yeah.
Now we're gonna go.
That wasn't the one you already showed to me?
Nope.
Okay.
Maybe I did. I don't know. Did I show you?
You sent me some shit the other night.
I
don't want to say too much, but you know, like
yeah, I don't know if that was the one. Maybe though. I might have sent a snippet of it. I know I was in my zone the other night, man. I made like 5 fucking music videos.
you hit me up the other night. You sent this video to me. You were like releasing such and such date, and I was like, "Word, that shit is dope."
Probably live resin.
True indeed.
Live resin's dropping on the 6th. No, sorry, the 4th.
4th,
That's
yeah.
dropping, yeah, June 4th.
Okay.
And then I got my video dropping on the 18th, 2 weeks later.
Shout
Word.
out to dropping on the 4th for live resin, the 18th for the Pro Now song.
Live resin.
For now,
yeah, okay.
We're gonna go. It was a great show, and obviously we'll probably have you come back on at some point whenever probably in the fall. And, we'll do it again when we have maybe more stuff to play for people that's hopefully newer by then. By your birthday, we'll say, or something.
Ooh. A Halloween release would be pretty dope, wouldn't it?
That would be pretty cool, especially
to work towards a Halloween release.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh,
yeah, I like that.
Let's talk about that.
All right. So
let's
for now,
talk about that.
Thanks for joining us for tonight, and make sure you tune in tomorrow night for the Bushy Gang podcast with Libsy. And who you got tomorrow for Libsy?
Well, I hit up my guest. I haven't gotten a response back. So I mean, let's find out. Let's find out.
Yeah, no, we'll find out. But tune in tomorrow night and check that shit out. And for now, we're out. So, peace.